I'm walking to Marshall Road further out to make a video for somebody that used to know it, and I'm on Barracks Lane. I think I've done at least one video where I came down Barracks Lane after coming off Shotover, and I'm just going to take a few snapshots of Barracks Lane as I walk along it, in case the viewer used to know that part of Oxford too. I'm not going to record my entire walk because I probably won't have enough battery life. So I'm a few hundred yards from the start of Barracks Lane here, facing west, and at the end, which you can't quite see but it's down there, is the junction with Bartlemas Close, and in that direction you go to Cowley Road. This is green space here. There, I think it's allotments, and I think this has been here for quite a time. And something that has almost certainly changed is the school, the people who run it, if not the building itself. That's the school now, and it calls itself Oxford Spires Academy. Glanville Road, and that goes down to Cowley Road too. And that's evidently part of Spires too. And Barracks Lane is paved up to this point and road surfaced up to this point, but then it becomes more of a sort of footpath come cycle track. So I'll cut for a bit. Newish residences there. I'm just inside the footpath bit now, looking diagonally towards Cowley Road. Now I'm at the western edge of a park recreation ground, in fact Cowley Marsh recreation ground. More newish residences, and that's the other edge of the recreation ground. Barracks Lane is still a footpath. This is the eastern edge of the park, of the recreation ground. Behind the fencing is the golf course. which I think has been here for a good few years. The fencing looks old, but I have a feeling that there used to be more ways into the golf course and more ways to cross it. That's a footpath that goes up and across the golf course. Now I'm 100 or 2 yards further on, and this track, it's a nice little sort of fairly easy to walk mid-city green path with houses on one side. It goes down to Marsh Lane shortly before Cowley Road, and it passes a council depot and a printing works, if that's still there. On Marsh Lane there is a pub called the Marsh Harrier, which I'm sure has been there for quite a few years. Is that hopscotch? Now I come to the end of Barracks Lane and another paved and roaded area. I'm pretty sure these are council dwellings. Golf course is so big that there are still parts of it on the left. I'm walking up a slope, and this is probably the same slope that defines Lye Valley and the stream that crosses the golf course. I wonder what this wall used to define. There's a big school here who have distinctive advertising. And I am now looking at Hollow Way. That's towards Headington. Golf course on the left. That's Horsepath, I think it's Horsepath Driftway. And I think I want to go down here. So again, I'll take a few clips until I get to Marshall Road. This must be old. Nothing to do with Marshall Road, but it's interesting. And I can just see Marshall Road there. That's a newish looking development, Hopkins Court. Right, so I'll turn towards Marshall Road and go down it, videoing all the time. It's just showered on me, and I hope it's stopped, because I don't know how impervious my phone is to rain. So I'll walk down and then up Marshall Road. I'm now walking along the other side in the same direction. That looks as though it might be quite recent. Let's go inside. April Place. And oh, there's more of it than I thought. And I suppose that backs onto whatever the next road towards Cowley Road is. Where does this go? So that's a path to Tyndall School, which is the big one with the politically correct advertising that I showed you. And those footprints on Barracks Lane must have been part of this little walk. And I think there's probably a path off and out to the right. So this now officially counts as Temple Cowley. That is Wilkins Road, and this is still Marshall Road. So now I'm coming to the stub end of Marshall Road. Oxford City Council vans. white road. And that's looking back along Marshall Road. That's a lot of cloud. looks like an old garage. And that's Marshall Road. Right, well, I'll walk back via Cowley Road and I'll do a few clips on my way there too. So that looks a particularly well-equipped ironmongers or auto shop. That road leads down to Marsh Lane and Cowley Road. Those must be the houses I saw from Marshall Road. Now, it's very unusual for the council to do this. Not only a slightly frivolous road name, but a coloured sign. Salegate Lane. That has an air of having been refurbished, and I suppose it belongs to the new buildings behind. Seems to go back quite a way. And now I'm on Cowley Road, which this far out is called Garsington Road here and Oxford Road there. Oxford is in that direction. Passing the original Swan. The name always used to puzzle me, and then I saw once that they'd redone their sign and that it showed a swan flying over a flooded landscape with a rainbow in the background. So I then worked out that possibly the original swan was the swan that came out of the ark, and the rainbow is the sign of the covenant that there wouldn't be another flood. Now looking down Cowley Road or Oxford Road towards Oxford. And that on the left is Between Towns Road. Temple Cowley, that's where some of the side roads such as Salegate Lane join up. Sorry, somebody just shouted at me out of a driving school car that she loved my outfit. Temple Road, that goes to Temple Cowley Library, and further up joins up with some of those side roads, as I pointed out. Now looking down the hill towards Cowley and Oxford. That place seems to get bigger every time I see it. That garage has been round for quite a time. That building, I believe, used to be a pub. Cowley Marsh Park. And the lane up on the right is Marsh Road, with a pub called the Marsh Harrier that we can't see very well from here on the right. I don't suppose some of these side roads have changed much. Milton Road. But there has been a lot of new building on the other side, and one thing to go was what I think was a bus depot. I think Reliant was a make of bus or bus engine, and the rebuilt area is now called Reliance Way. Well, I'm approaching the place where I came in, so to speak. Up there is Barracks Lane, which I walked along to get to Holloway and Marshall Road. I'm still on Cowley Road. That's the road that I went up to join Barracks Lane. That's the end of Barracks Lane. That big Art Deco building used to be a cinema, the Regal. I just saw that and thought it read, "How great thy art," and it was complimenting me on my cartoons, but sadly not.
Excuse me, would you sell a cigarette, please, boss?
Somebody just asked me for a cigarette. Right, this is the front of the Regal. It's the entrance now to what calls itself the Christian Life Centre. Manzil Park and the mosque. A few shops here that show the sort of things that are sold on Cowley Road now. I just rescued a palm tree which had been left outside a shop. Looks though it had been left to die, poor thing, but although some of the leaves are dry, there's still life in others. So I'm going to take it home. And I've also just bought a book from the Oxfam bookshop, and that's another thing that didn't used to be so much in evidence around Oxford. There were Oxfams in the city centre, but not so much out here. I think there used to be a rope maker here, patronised by lawyers and academics, and I wouldn't be surprised if that had been here for a long time, given the needs of the university, but they've gone. George and Delilah, G&D, an Oxford institution now. This is one of 3 shops. Japanese. Russian and other Baltic. Moroccan. Greek. And Il Principe, Italian. Middle Eastern from somewhere, I'm not sure where. And Korean. For those who take their pleasures by other routes. Uhuru, who I think have been here for quite a time, and the Bombay Emporium, likewise. Incense, fabrics, baggy trousers, saris. And here I am coming to the plain and the high street. So I walked down Barracks Lane, took a few snapshots of that, took a fairly detailed view of Marshall Road, and then took some snapshots of the route round through Temple Cowley and back along Cowley Road. And I tried to choose places that have been here for some time, so if you knew, say, Cowley Road some time ago, you might still spot things that were there then but have changed. I